Of a second incident between Iranian boats and the American Navy, and the White House just weighed in moments ago on this whole issue and why it matters. Brett Baer is joining us, of course, anchor of Special Report. And Brett, you have some new information on this.
The Pentagon, our producer there, Lucas Tomlinson, who's getting some word from the Navy and senior defense officials about another incident. Remember, we had the incident on Tuesday. We just learned about it yesterday with the video of those 4 Iranian fast boats that you're looking at there up against the U.S. Navy destroyer, the USS Nitz. And the destroyer fired flares into the air, and eventually those boats went away, but they got as close as 300 yards to the destroyer. Now, another incident yesterday. Again, Iranian fast boats, this time coming up against the USS Squall, which is a coastal patrol boat the U.S. Navy has in the northern Arabian Sea, the northern Persian Gulf. And basically, those boats, the Iranian boats, got up to about 200 yards. And in this case, the U.S. ship fired warning shots in front of those boats. That essentially is the last movement, the last thing you do before you actually engage what you consider to be a danger, a threat to a U.S. Navy vessel. They did have, we're told, some communication with the Iranians and told them to back off, but they eventually had to fire 3 warning shots into the water. Now, this is at the same time the Iranian defense minister, Jenna, is saying publicly that they will continue to do this to U.S. Navy vessels. And the White House, as you mentioned today, called this harassment and very unsafe, and essentially said it can't continue to happen. So we're at a point where it's very tense with the U.S. Navy and the Iranian Navy.
I only have about 30 seconds here, Brett. Why does this timing of this, why does this all matter?
Well, because Iran continues to thumb its nose at the U.S., and even in the wake of this nuclear deal, and in the wake of all the money that has gone to Iran and all the payments the U.S. has given, yet this provocation by the Iranian boats continues really day to day.
If you talk to members of the Navy, they say at times that it's not unheard of to see the Iranian boats around their ships. But as Brett points out, to have these sort of warning shots fired and have the tension in the region being what it is, it's all the more reason to pay attention, because we know one miscalculation or miscommunication can start something much bigger than what we're seeing. So, Brett, thank you very much for that breaking news. We appreciate it. We'll have more on Special Report.